What's up, Dragon Brood? You need to know that I love you because I'm still putting content out for you despite all the crap going on at my house. So yeah, the issue we talked about yesterday, it recurred today. We had to have them back out of the house. But anyway, all that does is back me up on making content, but I'm still gonna do it because I'm a machine, or I think that's the term. Anyway, today we're just gonna raise our spirits by, well, playing spirits because it's 2 on the nose, and of course we're gonna do it. And this is going to be a bit different. I think everybody's build of spirits has been a bit different so far. I don't think I've seen anybody do one that was the same as the last one. So that's both good and bad. Good in the sense that there's a good variety you can play, but bad as though there's not really a good consensus over which version or which cards are the best to play with. So I'm just going to try my hand at it because there's a bunch of spirits in this set, and why not? So let's go take a look at it. Now, the fun thing for me about this deck is going to be I get to play with cards that I'm not really using in any other decks, and some combination of cards I have used before that I haven't played together. And that's actually a good, appeal, a good draw to wanting to play this type of deck. So we're starting with Usher of the Fallen. It's a 2/1. It's a spirit. We're playing spirits, obviously, so no surprise there. However, Ascendant Spirit. 1, because it's in the name that tells you it's a spirit, and it happens to also be a spirit. But we are able to play both of these together, so we get a quality number of 1-mana creatures, which is really nice. We're going to try Circle of Confinement. I don't know how much I'm going to love this card, but it does remove things. But I think ultimately, I was thinking about this. I haven't seen quite enough vampire since I built this list, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the other one that's the renamed reprint, Borrowed Time. We're going to play a couple of those instead of Confinement. I think that just makes more sense, honestly, so we can just remove whatever we need to and not necessarily worry about it. And it still gives us an enchantment form of removal, which is what we want. So then we're moving on. We're having Clarion Spirit because, again, spirit's in the name. So guess what? It also happens to be a spirit. And it makes more spirits, which is a bonus feature. And because we have so many things that cost 1 or 2, there's a good chance we're going to be able to play multiples of these in a turn. So that's great. We can get a bunch of different things and get a bunch of spirits. We're playing 2 Intrepid Adversary that happens to not be a spirit. However, we are getting to increase the power of our team, so I'm totally good with it. We have some Rally in the Ranks because we can just choose Spirit and all our stuff will get bonuses. We have Malevolent Hermit that's not a spirit on the front, but is a spirit on the back. And this can actually keep our stuff from being countered. It also can really just keep us protected. That's the biggest thing, right? Hopefully slow down your opponent from, going crazy with probably Epiphanies, but really you want to stop the Doom Scars, any of the sweepers, the Blood on the Snow, all that stuff. That's what we're really going to be looking for with the Malevolent Hermit. We're playing Spectral Adversary. I'm going to see how this works out. I'm not so sure just yet, but I feel like this could work in here. Then, of course, the Borrowed Times that we added. Catilda, one of the new cards that I'm really excited to get to play with. Catilda Dawnheart Martyr is a 3-mana star, where the stars are equal to the number of permanents we control that are spirits and or enchantments. Well, the majority of the deck is spirits and enchantments, so that should be good. I'm expecting this a lot of times to be like a 3/3 or a 4/4 at a minimum, and have flying and lifelink, and randomly protection from vampires, which is cool. I say randomly, but the green-white Catilda also has protection from vampires, so I guess that makes sense from a story perspective. But when this is in the graveyard, you can play it out of the graveyard and basically give something +X/+X, same conditions as Catilda, and get all of her abilities. So protection from vampires, flying, lifelink. So that could also end up in being a lot of damage as well. Skyclave Apparition happens to be a spirit. This is going to be a great way to remove stuff, so had to include it. Then we're going to try 2 copies of Geistlight Snare. It is a counter. The spell costs 1 less for each spirit, 1 less to cast if you control a spirit, and then costs 1 less to cast if I control an enchantment. So if you control a spirit, it's 2, or an enchantment is 2. If you control both, it costs 1. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3, which is awesome because it's not a conditional counter spell over a type of creature or non-creature or anything like that. It's just counter the spell unless the opponent pays 3. Then we have Patrician Geist, which is basically a lord for our spirits. So other spirits we control get +1/+1, and then spells from our graveyard cost 1 less. We don't have a ton of things we're going to play out of the graveyard, just a handful, but could still matter in the grand scheme of things. It does fly in and of itself, which is pretty important. As for lands, we're playing 8 snow-covered plains, 6 snow-covered islands, 4 deserted beach, 2 Hingegate Pathway, and 2 faceless havens. Hopefully, those faceless havens won't be too difficult to activate with the lands we have. We're only playing 22 lands, so it's a little bit light, but we do have a ton of stuff that costs 1 and 2, so I'm hoping that's okay. Otherwise, we're probably going to end up having to cut something we'll figure out by the end of the video. But either way, watch the games. At the end of the games, we'll talk about ways we would update this list, and then we'll have a card spotlight for you, as usual. Oh boy. Alright, we keep it. Though, this doesn't do much for us, sadly. We have plenty of mana, so we can't gripe too much. Oh, where were you, turn 1? Okay, I guess we go ahead and go with this. Not knowing what we're up against. Alright, well, that doesn't really do anything. Sad. Big Sag. It don't do nothing. Alright, just gonna do that. Call Spirit. I'll attack with this. I doubt they're gonna trade for their Aspirant, so might as well get our damage in. Thalia. Alright, alright. Fair enough. We take our 3, no blocks. Nothing else from the opponent. We like those. Oh, I played the wrong land if I wanted to play that. That's alright. We go with Patrician Geist. Okay, now we're going to get to see their 3 mana removal duders. No, they're just loading up on Luminarch Aspirant. Oh, all the Aspirants. Ugh. Alright, that's going to be a real problem. Good news is, we're playing against a deck that probably doesn't have a lot of spells, so we can go ahead and block with this Malevolent Hermit to turn it into a Spirit next turn, which would be great. This costs 2, so we do have the mana to do both of these, ultimately. So let's go ahead and just remove this big one. And then let's play this one. And then let's attack. Alright. Ooh, Adeline. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. I think we're just going to block here. Alright, do we have enough to win and not die next turn? Because we can only turn this into a 2/3, which basically has a +1 here, so it makes it into a 4. We don't have enough to give it flying. We need another land to do that, which would have been lethal. But we're short, so that's not going to work. However, opponent has 1, 2, 3. And we could have 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't block 2 of the creatures, so it would be blocking the 4/4, a 3/3, and a, I guess was ultimately going to be a 6/5. So you block the 6. You block the 4. You block the 3. You get a 2/2 back. I'm just trying to think if we don't die or not, because then they would attack us for yeah, we'd just be dead, because they'd get a 1 creature back. So we can't even do that, actually. That's bad news. So we have to just attack with these, I believe, is the correct attack. Maybe even could have kept one of those back, but hey, no guts, no glory, right? And then we end the turn. So they've got to stop a bunch of things here, and we're at 10 life. Even if they sweep the board, we get to attack with the Faceless Haven. So not only that, get to attack with the Faceless Haven and replay the Benevolent Geist. So, well, yeah. So should be fine. I can't imagine it's not. And we could even counter the sweeper anyway with the Malevolent Hermit. So this is probably about as good as we can hope for, considering the circumstances, because the opponent had a pretty good hand. Gonna activate this. And then we're gonna block, block, block. And then I guess we just take 6, because that seems okay. Sure. Starnhelm Unleashed gives you a lot of blockers. Yeah, I guess still doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we just had all the extra that we didn't really need here. But it's fine. And then we just attack with everything. Whew. All right. We get to go first, but really can't play anything. You know what? I'm going to keep it, though. We're ultimately going to be behind unless we get another blue land here, and I guess we could play both of these this coming turn, but take our chances. This isn't awful. Being able to play an Apparition and then play our Geist. Geist is kind of cool. Don't hate that. I don't really love the idea of wasting it on that, though, so I think we're going to risk one of our Geists going away here. I mean, we could have attacked, see if they block, pump our creature, do that whole thing, but I'm willing to just risk it here. If they have it, they have it. Like, sometimes you really just got to put your opponents in the positions, and if they get there, they get there. But no more growing creatures for them. We don't like that. We'll attack with just this. Play one of these. Hallowed Haunting. That's it for each enchantment, right? As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment, create a white spirit cleric token. I considered something like that in this list, but I just couldn't find the right way to make it work. I'm going to rally the ranks here, I think. Call Spirit. And we're going to make a big, massive attack here. Opponent's just taking all of it. Okay, then. Well, this is either sweeper or just conceding. Well, not necessarily. I guess they could play something and make, like, 4 creatures this turn. Okay, well, that makes 2 creatures. Well, 1 creature. Okay, that's a choice. But you still can't block a flyer, because these don't fly. Yeah, we're not blocking. I mean, like, what's our motivation? Yeah. All right. Weird. All right. We're going to mulligan this one, too. We will keep this one. Get rid of one. Actually, do we even get rid of Catilda? Do we keep that, maybe? Because I feel like, all right. I guess we got to get rid of one. I can't logically keep both of them. That seems silly. I mean, I guess I could, but that feels like a bit of a stretch. Alright, there's an eye twitch. We're going to go ahead and play this duder. Opponent has a second eye twitch. And a Shambling Ghast. Alright, well, all the goodies that our creatures hate seeing. So we're just going to go ahead and pass. No need to give the opponent any free bonuses here. Oh, they're just coming with everything. Alright. No blocks. Guess we're going to be sacrificing something, I would guess, to draw cards. Yep. No surprise. Alright. Now that that's resolved, doing their instep, we can go ahead and play this. That is not bad for later. We can hold on to that. Having both of these can be very powerful in the coming turns. Especially if they play something like, let's say, Loth here. Being able to remove that with Borrowed Time is kind of nice. Oh, but they have green. Never mind. They might actually have, like, Binding of the Old Guard or something. Or Old Gods. That could be a little disappointing. Yep. Well, if there's going to be a Meat Hook Massacre, it's going to happen now. That is for sure. Oh, just a binding. Okay. I say just. I mean, it still has potential to be really bad, but we'll have to find a way to deal with it. Ooh, we drew the other Catilda. That is intriguing. Huh. Don't love it, but I guess we go ahead and do this. I mean, we didn't draw any land. I was kind of hoping we'd hit a couple here. But we've gotten none since our opener. Opponent has plenty of mana on their side, though. What are we doing here? Ghoulish Procession. That's every time you exile a thing? Or when we're not. Oh, a non-token creature dies. Get a 2/2 zombie. Okay, fair enough. Yep, Meat Hook Massacre makes sense. Well, good news. We can get rid of the Massacre, so this doesn't become absurd for us. If we find a land, we could make Clarion Spirit, play Catilda, and make a Spirit, so that'd be nice. Oh, Professor Onyx. Wish I would have had another Borrowed Time now. Don't know how we're going to get out of trouble on this one.
Come on, there's got to be something useful.
Yep. Oof, not the way I was hoping to go about this, but I guess we do what we got to do. Oh, that did not go well. This is a bad situation. I think this is where we lose. Yeah, we get rid of. Do we just get rid of Clarion Spirit? I guess so. I mean, it's going to be hard for us to play 2 spells the rest of the way. Binding's going to get rid of our Spectral Adversary. Yep. Makes sense. Now, if we find a land, we can juice up a spirit. Use the spirit to attack down and kill Professor Onyx. But we failed at that, so that's not a thing. Sadly.
I will give you a second chance.
I mean, we'll play one of these. Not completely sure what we're doing with it here. Onyx is going to get to look at cards. This is a tough sell on whether we play Ascendant Spirit or not. I feel like if they get the sweeper, they get back anything, we're kind of in trouble anyway. And we're already kind of up against it. And I just can't picture how they're going to just blank across the board here. So, yeah. I mean, maybe they do. I don't think they will, though. That's very, very difficult for them. But we just have to hope, I guess. I mean, they can still kill Catilda here, which makes us sad. But, I mean, if they draw something to kill it, it's not a board sweeper. I guess it's fine, but not great. Oh, they didn't even keep a Turgid. What's up? That's very concerning. Well, I guess if you're going to sweep the board, we might as well get some life for our troubles here. Sure. Could also be another Meat Hook Massacre, I guess. Which would be bad, but then we could also get an untapped Snowland, and then we could just attack into Professor Onyx, maybe. Or we could do none of those things. Yeah, we're dead. GG's. Like, we just went too long without drawing the extra land we needed there. Yeah, this is a keepable hand, I guess. Why not? Well, that does make it a little bit better. Yep, that makes plenty of sense. Let's attack. Because I don't think they really want to trade. They don't. Trying to decide what we really want to remove here. Oh, they're getting rid of that. Oh, because they had two of them. Well, of course. Why would you not? Now I have to figure out if they have a 3-mana. They have to have a 3-mana exile thing here. It's just a matter of if I think it's an apparition or not. Because if I believe it's an apparition, then I need to go ahead and just play our apparition, save this for something else. But I could play this, get a creature back, or I could just... Nah, you know what? We're just going to get rid of their Clarion Spirit. I'm not going to get too cute here. And if they get rid of our apparition, then they just get a 2/2 back, and that's okay. We can live with that. Homestead Courage. All right. Well, they're all about it. Okay, good news is that's tolerable. Like, not great, but tolerable. We can also exile their best thing here and then play ours. I'm just wondering how badly I want to say... Well, the problem is we could fall too far behind if we don't. So let's go ahead and do this. No attacks. And then we're just going to be under the guise of hopefully getting to do something great next turn. A Patrician Geist would be awesome to go along with our Rally of the Ranks. But we'll see what the likelihood of that is. Alright, so they're just playing all the little duders and doing all the buffing stuff. Alright. Seems reasonable. If you attack, I will trade here. Alright, we're just going to do this. Call Spirit. Play this. No attack. Now they can get a big creature. We can block it. That's fine. Then we turn our Hermit into Benevolent Spirit. Uh-oh. Absence, huh? That's not cool. Okay. That, however, is very cool. We like that. Actually, I say we like that. I'm wondering if it might be better to wait until I can get a second trigger off of this. So let's go ahead and just draw here. See if we can find another spirit. We did. I only have one blue for this, so I'm not going to get too excited about it here. We're just going to pass. Alright, you have a monk. So this is kind of interesting. We can counter that. We can surprise block with our what'll be a 3/2. Opponent did not want to give that to us. Very, very interesting. Okay. I think we just pass here. And then we'll try to Spectral Adversary out a couple of things. Okay. This is kind of interesting, right? They might get our Rally of the Ranks. I could see that being a thing. Okay. Since they targeted our creature, does that have to be a creature an opponent controls? More times, but that means you put that many counters and exile. Okay, cool. So, it doesn't say things we don't control. So, we'll just protect our own creature. Now we have a 4/3 blocker. Excellent. That worked out great. And then we're going to pay. And then pay. And attack for 6. Alright. We navigated this, I think, about as good as we could have. Or as well as we could have. Yep, we win that one. Okay, we get to go first with a pretty solid hand, so let's keep this. I think the only decision will be if we lean into Malevolent Hermit. Alright, we're going to attack and play Hermit. Because I don't think we're going to play Patrician Geist next turn regardless of what happens here. And unfortunately, that card's not going to be great for us. So I think we just attack here. And make a 1/1. Neat. That still leaves us the ability to do everything we need to do here. So let's get rid of that. And attack. And now we are representing lethal. Being able to play the Patrician Geist next turn. Necro Duality. Opponent can have that, and then they can just die. Well, we could kill them a couple of ways. We're going to go with this one. Alright. Ooh. This... man, I wish I knew what we were up against, because there's some matchups where this might be okay, but I think we're going to go ahead and mulligan and at least get some playable cards here. We'll keep this, scrap one of these Ascendant Spirits, I think. Though there's an argument to be made that I could have kept the Ascendant Spirit, played Spirit on 1, played each of these on 2, and that could have been more than reasonable. Would have meant having to get rid of either the Adversary or the Catilda. So no idea if that would have been a better play or not in the end. I'm just going to go ahead and call Spirits here, because I have a feeling what we're up against is probably not going to go well for us here. Barring us finding another counter and a land or some such, but that's a pretty far-fetched situation at this point. That's too many things we have to draw, especially holding 2 Catildas that are likely to go nowhere, unfortunately. And we'll go ahead and just make a Deuter. Kind of just use these to create a situation of, like, you know, if the opponent wants to deal with stuff, they can deal with it. Alright, something getting bounced here? Nope, not yet, they say. Not yet. Alright, we'll attack. Nothing still, huh? Alright. Man, at this point, I probably should have called humans. In the turn. I was hoping to draw a counter, but we're going to be a bit too late on that one, so that's not going to work for us. Now, if they did for some reason have a sweeper here, that would not be the worst thing. Fortunately, we only have 1 blue source, so that's not going to cut it either. Alright. I think the opponents just got it here. We were land stuck early, and now we're in a weird situation here that I don't think develops in a positive way for us. I mean, we could get lucky. Opponent is at 10. If we were to stick the Adversary here, then maybe find our counter. Like, it's possible we could buy enough time to get where we need to go, but I wouldn't bet much on it. I mean, unfortunately, just having that 1 blue source is really a pain in our butt here. Oh, this gets a little tricky, doesn't it? Because if we remove their Apparition, we attack, opponent goes down to 5, but then whenever they remove the board, they would get their Apparition, well, they'd get their 3/3 back, which doesn't particularly help us. So I think our plan here is just attack. They probably, okay. Fateful Absence seems reasonable. I kind of, if everything in my hand didn't cost 3, I kind of want to do that first, but that's not really going to be a thing. All right, they can block one of those. Not a lot we're going to say or do about it. I think we go ahead and just play Catilda here, and we call it good. Actually, you know what? If they're going to sweep the board, give us a dude back. Catilda dies, us dies. Like, yeah, all right. Like, at some point, I'm just like, opponent's at 9. We have to force them to start playing cards. Otherwise, they're just going to... Because those are either Doomscars or Epiphanies. I don't know which, but they're one or the other. I guess that's not necessarily true. I'm not going to block, so I at least get a 1/1 back. I mean, it's not much, but it's better than nothing. Oh, it's just an Auron's Epiphany. Oh, so we're just going multiple Epiphanies here? Huh. Well, that's definitely not what I thought they were going to do. Alright, well, I guess here I'll just take the life gain. Or do I want to block 2 things? I mean, maybe they're going to try to chain Epiphanies? I don't know, bruh. Let's see what happens here. I mean, there's a possibility that they figured, hey, maybe they can get in there with Strixhaven, Coliseum, and get it done. Oh, nope. Alright. I could see that logic, though. Them doing what they did allows them to at least set up the Colosseum that they could get us. I mean, our hand's pretty slow with the lands that we have, so we're probably just going to lose this one. But, you know, what are we going to do about it? I mean, we'll do the one thing we can do, and that's remove the Strixhaven in Stadium. If the opponent allows, it's probably just going to get met with a divide by 0. Nope, I saw it coming. Fair enough. Now we have 2 turns. We have no turns. Alright. Alright, we will keep this. Even though we can't cast one of our cards, it's effectively, at the moment, a mulligan to 6, but that's okay. It's a mulligan worth having here, I think. The only downside to all this is I don't see... Actually, you know what? I guess we just attack here. I mean, it makes sense to trade here, opponent. It's okay to block. I promise you. I will make one Deuter here. Assuming that they're just going to play in Luminarch Aspirant or something. I was going to say they're taking a long time to decide if that's not the play. This could be interesting. Okay, so they have an Usher and... Alright, Paladin class makes sense. Sadly, well, I guess we have 2 Catildas, so it's not the worst thing if one of those goes away. I doubt you'll trade me here for the human token, so that's alright. This also makes our Geist Snare really bad. Or Geist Light Snare, I should say. Okay, there's a Cathar. Makes sense. Yep, we take our 1. Play another one. And we pass. Man, I would love to draw another Usher of the Fallen here. That would probably... If we're not going to draw land, Usher of the Fallen's the best thing we could draw. I mean, real talk. If we do get an untapped land, it's possible that Intrepid Adversary could be the right answer, just because of the lifelink, and can create a little bit of a situation. So it'd be something worth considering. We just take 3 here. I'm fine with that. Okay. Knowing what we know, what do we do? Because there is a little bit of a weird scenario that we could do this and this. However, this stands to have more value to us later. I also feel like, though, if we do that now, maybe the opponent, if they get a removal card, has to remove this. Catilda gets to stay. Then maybe we could still find another 2-mana thing and cast 2 things next turn, which sounds viable. And if we get a land, we could also do this and this next turn, which I kind of like. So let's see where this goes. An opponent, if they have a removal thing, feels like they'll be incentivized to remove the adversary, but we could be wrong. An interesting thing, too, is at some point, if we do get rid of the Cathar, we free up a Catilda, which actually dies and goes to our yard, which gives us a chance to play it. And you can have the front and the back side of a creature available at the same time. So that's kind of interesting. But now we just want an untapped land. So we can play Clarion Spirit, Patrician Geist. Almost no matter what happens this turn. Whether they get rid of a creature or not, that feels like that's in our best interest at the moment. Yeah, no blocks. I think I'm willing to still take it here. Now, if they don't play anything, they will get to flip their Cathar, which is annoying, but not much we can do about it. They're just going to pump their thing. Yep, makes sense. All right. We did find the land we want, though, which Though it's going to let them flip their Cathar, we at least create a choice for them. And I'm alright with that. And just say, hey, if you're going to do the damn thing, do the damn thing, you know? Do you want to get rid of our Catilda, or do you want to get rid of our Patrician guys? Either way, I don't care. But this is a big hit. We gain a bunch of life. So this is a real choice for the opponent. And it's probably going to come down to what's in their hand. The downside is we don't have a spell to play next turn either. So we're kind of all in on the situation here. Hopefully draw something that removes the Brutal Cathar. We have 6 things that could do that. So our odds are solid. We just got to find one. But the opponent's looking at 6 in the air right now if they don't remove the Patrician guy. Well, they're going to die if they don't remove Catilda. So this feels like there's not another exile creature in their hand. So just be unless they drew one here. At 6 in the air, we can choose not to block here. And that's totally reasonable for us. And we have life gain available with the Intrepid Adversary. Though if they do attack with the Cathar, we would just block with multiple things here, I think. Oh, well, that's real nice. Not gonna lie. That's a big hit. And we have a counter in case they want to do something here. So that should do it, I think. Because you got 6 in the air, you can block the 2 biggest things. Oh, that's only 8, actually. That doesn't kill the opponent. I mean, it sets us up for a kill next turn. What is the downside on that card again? Pay 3 life? Hell yeah. I will take that action. Proudly. Undoubtedly. We'll keep this one. No difference, really. We will attack for sure with these. With this. I mean, if they block this, block this. I mean, they're dead, right? No, they could just block the 2 biggest things. That's fine. Okay, sure. I mean, if they try to play a removal card here, we have a counter, so we're not worried about that. And we get a token for our troubles. One of the few spots we'll actually get to play that card. So that's good. Alright, they chose not to block. Oh, man. Alright, well, we're giving ourselves 2 turns to draw a blue land. Hopefully we can name that tune in 1 note. The old heads that got that. If you know, you know. But yeah, maybe we can do it in 1. We did not do it in 1. That is unfortunate. Alright, well. Try to get our damage in where we can. I mean, who knows? Maybe the opponent just plays multiple... I don't know. Actually, even if they just play something as simple as a... Shambling Gas, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Duress. Okay, that's annoying, because that does get one of our defensive options here. Now we need a blue land quick so we can get this Malevolent Hermit on board. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. That does help immensely. Alright, get in for a 5-ball there. Unless they want to bounce a dude. Actually, I'm okay with you bouncing that one, actually. Like, if you're going to bounce a thing, that's the one we want to have bounced, actually. Just going to attack there. We're going to play this, get the Geist down. And then hope we can protect the Geist or prevent mass sweepage here. Unfortunately, if they play a black land and play a Meat Hook Massacre, this is going to suck. But there's really nothing we can do about it. Because we weren't going to just not play a spell that turn. It was either play the Geist or play the Intrepid Adversary again. Alright, Geist dies. Makes sense. Can't really fault anyone for that. Oh boy, this does create an interesting scenario though, doesn't it? I think maybe we attack and just play Ascendant Spirit. Attack, make a token, play Ascendant Spirit. Maybe that's correct. And then if they have a sweeper here, they play the sweeper. If we draw a land, we could play Clarion Spirit, Geist, then follow up with an Intrepid Adversary. I mean, they could still meat hook for 1 here, and that's still totally viable. I'm just trying to play this in a way that if they do find a sweeper or a Lolth or whatever, we have a backup play. That's really what it's all about right now. Okay. We can attack with these two. They're not likely to block. Also, if they're playing that, they're not likely to meat hook Massacre here either, which is something to note. We could play Spirit and the other Geist, though they could then meat hook for 1, and that's... Or they'd probably have to meat hook for 2 still. Man, this is a choice, for sure. Alright, we're going to attack with these two no matter what here. I don't think they're willing to trade. Alright. I mean, I guess we go for it. I mean, this is a if you got it kind of thing. Oh, wait. Wrong card. We didn't draw the land we wanted to draw last time. Alright. I mean, now we have a flyer. We have 3 things that are must blocks. We can leave mana up for the Malevolent Geist to prevent silliness. Alright. That does give them a blocker, so that does matter. Not to be discounted. Ooh, where was that other blue mana we needed? They're only at 9. If we play this, we get to get in for 2. This could still be blocked. This could be chumped. This could not be chumped. That'd be 3. Oh boy. If we do this, we just put 1 counter on everything, and then that makes everything harder to deal with, which we don't hate. Assume you block the 2 biggest things. 2, 4, 6 would get through. And then we still have Geist and that. Alright. I mean, they could still have a bounce spell, I guess. Doesn't look like it, though. And just say, cool, if you do got it, you got it. Like, we're working on pretty thin margins here. I mean, you gotta block the other 3. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. So you take 6, you go to 3, you gain 1, go to 4. And now it's just up to them to find their sweeper here. The good news is we do have 2 creatures we can play out of the yard. That'll be flyers. We have the Patrician Geist. We don't even need it. Alright, so I actually thought the deck was solid. No real complaints. However, I think there were cards I liked more than others. And there was a small thing we ran into, and it has to do with Ascendant Spirit. My problem with the Ascendant Spirit is we almost never wanted to pump it because of the quality of bounce spells, particularly, but also removal that's available right now that all the decks are playing. That you didn't want to invest mana or take a turn off. Like, honestly, even taking a turn off to activate it instead of casting a creature, unfortunately leaves the door open for your opponent to flip their werewolves and whatnot, and that's a problem, right? If we try to be creative during combat and, you know, pump it up or give it flying or whatever, then there's a chance it's just going to get, like, divide by 0 or whatever, right? So there's some tough situations there because of the Ascendant Spirit. But the other part of this, because we're playing the Ascendant Spirit, it also means we're trying to play Snowlands alongside the Faceless Havens, and because of that, we end up not having as many multicolor sources that we could have, right? We really should just be playing a full set of Pathway, a full set of Deserted Breach, maybe one of or two of one of the tapped blue-white lands or something as well, right? But there were multiple times where we either didn't have enough land or we didn't have enough colored land, and that actually hurt us in some of the matchups. In the other thing I wanted to look at is, can we just play 4-guy snare? I think the card's good enough that we should at least consider it, especially against the control matchups or the matchups with heavy sweepers, the mid-rangey decks. That's just a really damn good card. So I think in the final list you're able to download, I'm going to spend some time labbing a little bit and seeing if I could find a way to get 4-guy snares in here. Probably cut out the Ascendant Spirits, cut down 1 Malevolent Hermits, maybe something else, I don't know, Borrowed Time or whatever, and we'll find a place to squeeze in some other stuff. Also, another card I want to consider here, if we're not going to play the Ascendant Spirit and we still want to play Clarion Spirit, a card we can look at is actually Lantern Bearer, because it's a 1/1, it already flies, we have ways to pump our creatures obviously, so this could be a 3 or a 4 like you saw very often that flies. It also, being what it is, still helps out like our Catilda, which is nice. But if we play it out of the graveyard, it gives something else flying and gives it +1/+1, which is a pretty big deal too. So I do want to consider this as well as an option. But overall, I don't know. I think those would probably be the changes I would go with. But like I said, you'll see some changes in the downloaded list. I'm going to spend some time with it after I'm done recording this video. So expect a few things to look different in that list. Now, I will say, how did I feel about it? It actually had game against more stuff than I thought. It held up pretty well against most of the mono white matchups we ran into. I don't think we got to play against mono green with it at all. And we did beat one of the control decks, I think. The others kind of gave us a bit of trouble. But one of those was also because we just didn't get our mana as well. So kind of hard to say. But if you do want to play Spirits, this is one way to do it. I know people were looking at playing Spirits with a bunch of stuff out of the graveyard and this, that, and the other. But unfortunately, those tend to bog down or just take too long to develop. And by then, you're just getting overrun by the mono white stuff. You're getting beat down by mono green. Like, you get all that time to set up and you try starting to play this whole thing. And if something happens to your graveyard, you're kind of wrecked. So I feel like there's more bullets you're trying to dodge by going with that plan, as opposed to just playing good, efficient good, efficient creatures and really just get the job done. I think that's really the way we need to be going. So I'm actually pretty good with this list after putting a few different iterations together and landing on something pretty solid. Now for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about Anafin's Kin Tree Spirit, I believe is the full name. Mostly because it's a spirit and it's a card it's kind of forgotten about over the years. It wasn't one of the strongest cards from Dragons of Tarkir, but it is a pretty useful card, especially in a deck like this that we played today, where you just have a 2/2 for 2, and then every time you play a creature, you get to put a +1/+1 on your smallest toughness creature. That seems really good, especially here where you just be able to play something every turn, keep pumping things and attacking. It's funny, you know, in hindsight, we really didn't play much of the card. I think I only even put it in 1 or 2 deck lists way back when. So it kind of makes me wonder, I need to go back and look and see what was going on at that time, because the card is actually randomly useful. Now don't forget, if you want today's deck list, it will be down in the description below, and like I said, it will have some updates, so keep an eye out for that. Also, if you want to join our Discord or our Facebook streams or our Twitch streams, if you ever have questions, want to ask stuff live, just come say hi, show your love and appreciation. You can get the links down in the description also. I want to remind everybody too, if you're going to do any holiday shopping with Amazon or TCGPlayer, anything like that, I do have affiliate links in the description. If you click those before shopping, you'll be supporting me and the channel and my efforts, and you don't have to do anything else. It doesn't cost you anything. Literally just click that link and it takes you to the site, and as long as you shop through that site within 24 hours, I'll get a little kickback and you'll be helping me out. So I'd be super appreciative. Also, consider joining the memberships if you haven't, and at the very least, please like, subscribe, share. That is so very important right now. Partly because I spent some time trying to build up the channel and do some nice things with like those beginner decks and everything else, and that ended up hurting our recommendations. So we got to get things back up, and I need your help to do that. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.